Super Squad D Live Show. Starring Joseph Craven, Tyler Blunt, and tonight's guest, King of the Cosmos, Carl Sagan. All right. That's Jamiroquai.
And that's Scott Summers.
And this is Super Squad D.
Where the D stands for drawings.
Hey, thank you for joining us on tonight's live show. Welcome to the live chat. We're monitoring it off over here to the side. Everything's about a 30-second delay, so don't be alarmed if your responses or if our responses to your comments aren't read instantly.
That's right. And I want to say a special thanks to our special sponsor today, Lenny Subs, where you can have any sub designed your way.
They're not a sponsor of ours. You just ate there before coming over here. I thought it wasn't a sponsor. He's gone. He's gone.
Pretty sure Lenny's is our sponsor.
All right. Hey. If you're unfamiliar with Super Squad D and why it is that we have this live show, allow me to explain it to you. The reason we do this show is to talk about the stuff we're interested in. Comics, movies, video games, just overall in general, kind of nerdy culture stuff, and we love it. But also, we want to give stuff away.
Give it away.
Tyler, why are we giving stuff away?
Well, Joseph, we haven't talked about this in a few weeks, so it's good to always remind people. But we just like to experience generosity around here. We really strongly believe in giving back and thinking and seeing outside of ourselves. I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when I was born, way back when in 1985, and the doctors told my parents that I probably wouldn't live to be 18, and I've just been super blessed to be healthy and live a long life. I am over 18 now. I'm not going to say how old I am, though someone did mistake me for a 16-year-old yesterday, which was pretty fantastic.
It's awfully nice.
Yeah, I'm not even close. But we like to, out of that, I like to try to think, it's given me a fresh perspective on life and to think about things outside of myself. So we just want to pass on that generosity, and you got that same spirit about you. I can smell it.
Nah.
So that's kind of what we're doing here.
I'm just piggybacking off of you more than anything else.
It's fine.
Yep. Should have fixed the little echo issue that was going on there. I had settings a little screwy in the streaming software.
Echo gone. I heard it.
Yeah, do apologize for that. Thank you guys for pointing that out. Thank you for pointing that out.
Thank you. You're so gracious to be here.
There's going to be a live drawing tonight and another giveaway later in the week. Tonight's drawing, Tyler, do we want to go ahead and show off what it is that we're giving away
I'll show off one of the three things. Okay. It's a bundle. Tonight you're going to get a bundle. We've been giving away books if you've been a part of the stream. But tonight we're going to give away a bundle, and the first of which is this beautiful Toy Biz Electro. Electro. That's his voice. I'm Electro, and I'm going to get you, Spider-Man.
What is he doing?
Push-ups. You ever seen Electro do push-ups?
I haven't until
Look at
now.
that. Do them push-ups,
With
Electro.
extreme push-up action.
So that's one of three figures we're giving away in a bundle tonight.
Yeah, there you go. 3-figure bundle is going to be the live drawing. We'll put out the link in the live chat in a little bit.
Oh, you know we will.
Tonight's giveaway is basically to subscribers on the channel. So
That's right.
You're going to be prompted to subscribe if you haven't already. If you have already, you'll click the button and it'll give you instructions on how to fulfill it. You'll see.
But if you haven't subscribed, smash that button right now. Pew, 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 pew. That was the smash sound effect. I'm not sure if you're familiar.
I am wildly unfamiliar with that sound effect.
Fair enough.
Actually, and
now you know.
Kind of weirded out by it.
Because knowledge is power.
Later in the week, I want to just quickly preview this because we got a very special collaborative video.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about it in a little bit.
Oh, it's
with
awesome.
a very special giveaway tied to it.
Collaboration.
It's for this monstrosity. What? Look at that.
The goon?
Look at how large that is.
Wow.
Look at how special that is. It could be yours. Details
wait.
coming
Hold
later.
that back up.
Nope.
I want to see if
okay.
Electro can... Dang, son! No, he's crushed under the weight.
He got crushed.
He can only do so many push-ups.
That did not end well for Electro.
It really didn't.
Yep. All right. Thank you to everyone for tuning into the show. If you if you're a first-time viewer, live viewer, go ahead and tell us where you're from. Yeah. We want to know all that. We see a lot of regulars in here, see a lot of guys that we have talked to a lot in the chat, and it's great to have everyone here again.
That's right.
If you tuned in last week, you may remember that we were talking about... You know what? Quick side note. This is our 4th episode. We've been doing this for like a month now.
A whole month? What is wrong with us?
Yeah, which is strange.
Hold your applause. I can see you at home. Don't give us those sarcastic applause.
We don't need that.
We don't need your pity. We don't need your sarcastic applause.
Producer's telling me we got to move on. So, tonight's episode, it was going to be a continuation of last week. We were talking about our favorite childhood cartoons. A lot of you guys had a lot of things. Deadpool was a childhood cartoon of yours?
No, it's just my favorite thing.
Okay. You guys pointed out a lot of your favorite shows. We talked a lot about that sort of stuff.
We did.
And just real, great discussion. And it was one that we wanted to continue tonight, hitting on a few more of our favorites.
That's right. And really drilling down on some of our favorites.
In particular, we're really kind of hitting on a few that we think could be or should be rebooted. Now, of course, rebooting is the trend these days.
Oh, it's popular.
For better or worse. And there's a handful of cartoons, older cartoons, that have recently been rebooted in some format. You have a list right there.
Some of our favorite shows when we were kids we're glad were rebooted.
I'm not going to own up to that.
Okay,
necessarily.
Fair enough. So one of them is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, classic 80s show. If you grew up in the late 80s or the early 90s, you love that cartoon show.
Yep.
It's now on Nickelodeon, and it's fantastic. If you haven't watched it, forget this stream. Go watch that right now. It's awesome.
Unless you want to win some figures later.
Well, that's true. And then we got Thundercats, which was also a classic. It got rebooted. You guys can help me in the chat. It got rebooted maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It didn't last very long, but it was a nice reboot. I was glad to see it come back.
I don't think I saw any of it.
It's cool.
I missed it. My mistake.
If you notice by my memorabilia,
we've
got Dragon Ball Z, huge Dragon Ball Z fans.
Oh, it's just absolutely one of our favorite shows.
I would have dreamed 4 years ago for a Dragon Ball Z reboot that I thought would never happen, and we've got it. Dragon Ball Super. It's amazing. The Japanese version's up to like 70 episodes or so. It's now airing on Toonami in North America. Watch it if you haven't. It's awesome. And then this year, we've got a couple shows coming back that were some of our favorites. We've got DuckTales, which is coming back. And it might be the catchiest theme song. I mean, it's great. I don't know if it's the best, but it might be the catchiest.
It's going to rank up there.
It's got the Doctor, David Tennant. He's one of the voice actors, and there's a whole star-studded cast.
It's got Ben Schwartz, one of my favorite comedians.
He's really fantastic.
Ben Schwartz, Rejected Jokes.
Jean-Ralphio.
The
best side character.
I got run over by Lexus.
In a Salmon 720. What?
Did you say in a Salmon 720? It's kind of what it sounded like.
Why are you embarrassing me in front of my friends?
I didn't do anything. Wow. You did it yourself.
Hey Arnold. We found out recently. You want to tell them about Hey Arnold?
I'd love to. I actually found out a little while back, but it kind of got lost in the shuffle. There's supposed to be, if you remember Hey Arnold, there's supposed to be a little like made-for-TV 2-part movie following Hey Arnold, who is now in 6th grade instead of 5th grade like he was in the TV show.
That's right.
On a search to relocate his parents, because, of course, he lived with his grandparents.
Yeah.
So what are some of our...
Football Head.
And
Samurai Jack. Coming back this year.
I think Hey Arnold is what helped prompt my love of plaid shirts, actually.
Really? It prompted my love of football, so that's cool.
Okay. What are some of the people in the live chat pointing out as shows
one thing
I
want to shout out is Nerd Ventures, who's got an awesome channel on YouTube. If you haven't checked it out, go subscribe to him right now. If you're watching this after the show, go check him out. His name is Will. He's a great guy, and it's chock full of great information.
His name is Nerd Ventures.
I'm sorry. I stand corrected. Go check out his channel. He's from Delaware, apparently. Didn't know that. Very cool, Delaware. And I see we've got some Bucky O'Hare love from here. Yeah, no, Oscar said Tyler loves Bucky O'Hare. Tyler hates Bucky O'Hare. Bucky O'Hare is the devil and is my enemy. And I'm going to make a 13-minute solo video on why I hate Bucky O'Hare.
You going to put it on your own private channel?
Sorry, I got triggered there. I don't even know what happened. I blacked out, I think. That was weird.
Embarrassing.
So we got some good stuff. I see Toby in the chat. Tyler.
What's up, Toby?
That's it. My buddy Sal's in the chat. I like it. Yeah.
I'm glad Tyler Holland pointed out the Voltron reboot that's in the works. Because Voltron was one of those
man, it's on Netflix now, and it's so good.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was already out.
1 and 2.
What?
It's awesome.
How did I miss all of that?
It's really good.
I feel like an idiot now.
Yeah, you should.
Okay. All right, whatever. But we were talking about some of the shows that we would like to see rebooted, or in the vein of Hey Arnold getting at least some sort of years later special, some sort of made-for-TV movie, something like that. One of the ones that we talked about. I mean, if we're bringing back DuckTales, why not?
Can I sing the theme song? Just a part of it.
Why not?
Out of smoke and he appears, a master of disguise. Who's that cunning mind behind the shadowy... No, I messed the words up.
Okay.
Dang it! Why? Darkwing Duck.
I was going to say, you can say the name of the show.
Darkwing Duck! Wait, say his catchphrase.
I'm not going to.
Let's get dangerous. It's like the greatest catchphrase of all time.
One of them. Because another show that we're going to talk about later is another good one.
But that's a great catchphrase. So... Darkwing Duck came out as Disney's first real action comedy adventure.
That's true. Yeah, it was a more action-packed show than the stuff that Disney had. And of course, it was like a spin-off of sorts of DuckTales. Kind of set in the same universe. It even had Launchpad McQuack.
Launchpad McQuack, greatest sidekick ever.
Yeah.
Launchpad McQuack, yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of similarities, same universe and all.
That's it. One of the things I loved about DuckTales is that it took inspiration from so many shows.
Oh, yeah.
And I got down a jotted list here because I didn't want to leave anything out, but shows like, obviously, The Shadow, which was a huge show back in the 1930s. The Shadow Knows. Who knows The Shadow Knows? Of course, we got Batman, which is obvious. Yep. The city that they lived in was a parody of Gotham City. Doc Savage, the Green Hornet, the Lone Ranger, Zorro. I mean, it really incorporated a lot of really classic, iconic superhero shows, and yet at the same time, it was a comedy. Like, it was action, but it was also a comedy. They did a great job of balancing the two. I mean, his villain was Negaduck, which I'm pretty sure was just him from a parallel universe that was bad.
Just evil. Yeah, it was wonderful. And I mentioned, I think, on the last episode that Darkwing Duck was the first video game that I ever beat.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
So it's always going to have a special place in my heart.
That's pretty impressive.
Love Darkwing Duck. Big fan of...
How long did that run? Do you have that?
Yeah, let me see. 91 episodes, so 3 seasons. Started in 1991, ran for 91. I'm sensing a trend.
Wow.
91, ran for 91. Oh.
You think that's a coincidence?
Yes.
Hashtag Zodiac confirmed.
No, very, very much a coincidence, actually. So,
okay.
Another favorite cartoon of, ridiculous
really
proportions.
Ridiculous and amazing.
Was Animaniacs.
It's time for Animaniacs, and they're zany to the max.
To the max. Animaniacs, of course, being 3 supposed to be rejected Warner Brothers cartoon characters from the 1930s who were trapped in the WB water tower and then released, and just a hilarious show harkening back to the older days of cartoons, Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes type things, where it's little snippets, 8-minute cartoons.
It was a variety show. It was a cartoon variety show
in a lot of ways, and I think that's one that we all loved and would love to see brought back in some sort of facet, just because it was so weird and unique.
It was
and wonderful.
So good. One thing I liked about it...
Executive produced by Steven Spielberg.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Okay, yeah.
Steven Spielberg was an executive producer. Like, the quality of it... It won 8 Emmys.
Yeah. Won 8 Emmys. It won a Peabody Award.
That just doesn't happen to cartoon shows very often.
Critically acclaimed show. Of course, it spun off Pinky and the Brain.
Which was huge. Let's just talk for a second about... Why don't share with us and the viewers at home, why don't you share some of the... mini shows that were in that show, some of the characters. Let's bring back some of that magic.
Yeah, I mean, they started bringing in a whole lot. First off, I don't appreciate you telling me what to do.
I'm sorry.
But, it's brought back...
Do you feel better now?
Yeah, I'm very calm.
Just relax a little bit.
Skippy Squirrel.
Skippy.
Slappy Squirrel and Skippy Squirrel together. Of course, Pinky and the Brain, who got their own spin-off show.
So good.
Buttons and Mindy, one that we were talking about earlier today.
Buttons! Buttons!
My personal favorite, The Goodfeathers.
That was so good.
3 pigeons based on The Goodfellas. And I distinctly remember an episode with The Goodfeathers in which it was a spoof of West Side Story, where they all were battling over the right to perch on a statue of Martin Scorsese. And I still remember this. Good. There's a song they're saying. There's like, we want to perch on Scorsese's head. We want to perch on Scorsese's head.
Oh, it's so good. Seriously, so good.
Unbelievably good.
There were some really good characters in there, and then of course, like, you know, one of the most famous things to come out of that show was Yakko, because you know it was Wacko, Yakko, and Dot.
Yakko, Wacko, and Dot.
Yeah. And I think it was Yakko, right? Yakko Warner's song of countries of the world, where he just listed every country of the world, but he sang them all.
Yeah.
At one point in my life, I knew them, and it was the only time I could ever say, like, I had memorized the song. It was my only time in my life I could say I knew all of the countries of the world.
I've never been more impressed.
Thank you. I promptly forgot it, like most things in life.
Not to mention, of course, that since then, I mean, there's been a whole bunch of, you know, Eastern European countries that have split, and a lot of, you know, a lot of new countries.
Yeah, there's some of those countries.
So it's a little outdated.
So looking at the chat here, we got a lot of people saying they want a reboot of Pirates of Darkwater, which was a really great show.
It was. Yeah, I'm sorry.
There's from Nerd Ventures. He was talking about there was a Future Quest crossover that DC's publishing, and it's got like Johnny Quest and Space Ghost and a lot of crossovers. That would be a really fun show to get in animated form, to bring back some of those old cartoon shows and just kind of throw them all into the same universe would be really fun.
I've said it before, though. I'm really only interested in Space Ghost in its talk show format.
I know. It's fine. So, Animaniacs, Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
Moving on to what arguably is the most popular kids animated show of all time in, like, the comic realm.
Oh, sure, yeah. And one that as soon as we were like, hey, we should talk about this on the show, the first show that we both thought of, said, this is on the top of our list. Well, you took a swig.
Batman, the animated series.
I was going to send it back over to you.
Sorry,
as you were drinking.
You caught me right in the middle of my Deadpool drink.
Yeah, Batman, the animated series was groundbreaking. I mean, it set the tone for 1992, first of all. I mean, animation style for 92
was... Oh my gosh. It was, like, serious and...
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
It was so good. So good. You had... let's see, it had a lot of thematic complexity, darker tone, artistic quality, film noir aesthetics. I didn't know what that was, obviously, in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Looking back on it now, I think it's brilliant because it really fits a lot of the... detective influence of the old Batman comics and the noir, era.
And they adapted a lot of the comic book issues into storylines.
It was very comic book.
It was. I mean, we could spend a whole show on that. It ran for 85 episodes. We should.
Let's just, you know what? We're going to scrap the rest of this outline.
Scrap the rest of this hour. It's gone. No, it really. Obviously, there's a lot of impressive things about it. Kevin Conroy will forever be the best voice of Batman in my mind.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill.
I say voice of Batman. He's just the best Batman.
He's just the best Batman, yeah. I don't know. Will Arnett's putting forth a pretty good effort with Lego Batman.
It's true. Lego Batman is
if you haven't seen it, go see
right
it.
now, yeah.
But Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill already getting a lot of love
in the
chat.
Yeah, come on. Mark Hamill was awesome. He is the Joker. Whenever you hear someone else play the Joker, it just sounds terrible.
No, it's not the same.
Like, he ruined it. But then, of course, it was made by Bruce Timm, and Paul Dini was a writer who's gone on to do some stuff. But Bruce Timm, in particular, he created the modern DC animated universe.
Yeah.
Like, think about what came out from Batman. Then that led into the New Adventures of Superman.
Yep.
Which then they threw back to it was kind of like Batman, the animated series, but it was... Okay. I can't remember, they changed the name up, but it had a different art style that was more similar to Superman's. Okay. And they brought in a younger Kid Robin and Nightwing. But then after that, of course, we got Batman Beyond.
Right.
Which was probably my favorite Batman animated show of all time.
Why? Why that one?
I just thought it was so unique and creative in that, at that point in my life, and even in hindsight, like I'd always heard these stories about Batman, and I never thought about what it would be like after Batman. Like, what would happen after Batman got old, after Batman couldn't fight crime anymore. And so it totally blew my mind as a kid. Plus, I thought all the future tech was cool. I really liked the character of Terry. It's long since been one of my favorite Batman, maybe my favorite Batman animated show. Yeah. But then we got Justice League, and then Justice League International, and now we just have a host of DC movies. Yeah. And it all started with that show.
Not to mention, of course, that one of the more popular characters in Batman right now, Harley Quinn, was a product of Batman the Animated Series.
That's insane.
Yeah, it didn't come from the comics themselves, came from the animated series. And I believe you were telling me that her first comic appearance was in a comic adaptation of the animated series. It was
like Batman the Animated Series Adventures number 12, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Hilarious.
Yeah, just so funny because in the, 25 years, it debuted in 92, so the 25 years since then, Harley Quinn's popularity has grown.
Oh, it's through the roof.
Much.
She made the whole Suicide Squad movie. Mm-hmm. If you saw that movie, you know that.
So, Batman the Animated Series is at the top of our list, I think, for shows that we want to see redone. Because right now, we're talking about an era in which we're iffy on DC movies, there's a lot of DC live-action TV shows.
Yeah.
And it really feels like if they were to take something and make... If they don't want to go too comic bookish with the movies or the TV shows, if they want to go comic bookish and just go directly from... the comics to the screen, a new animated series would be prime for
and
that.
It's so like we've had multiple Batman series since then. We had the Batman, which was all right. I didn't hate it. We had Batman the Brave and the Bold, which was fantastic. Got to check that out if you haven't. And then we had, I think it was called, I don't remember what I know it was Batman, but it was kind of 3D animated. It was, I think, the most recent adaptation. And so, and that ended a little while ago, and now we're just left with this void. Batman is a huge seller. And it makes for a great kid show. So I'd love to see a new Batman show, but again, hearkening back to the animated series. We got someone shouting out here, don't forget Gargoyles. So true. And my friend Luis from Hardcover Reviews was talking to me earlier about Gargoyles. It's such a good show.
Tyler's been raving about Gargoyles for, the past week, and I'm not really entirely sure why.
Oh, it's
good.
It
so much, but he loves it so much.
It's great.
I was always more of a Street Sharks fan.
Oh my, don't even get me started on Street Sharks, dude. That stupid, terrible Turtles ripoff. We might just do a whole show on Street Sharks.
I'll do it in a heartbeat. I'm going to skip ahead. We had one show that we also really agreed on, but before we get to that, I want to go ahead and do it because someone has mentioned this show in the chat already. But Doug, Nickelodeon's 1991, one of their first original animated shows, along with Rugrats and Ren and Stimpy. 4 seasons on Nickelodeon. In '96, Disney bought the rights to it and made brand spanking new Doug. Went for 3 more years on ABC's Saturday morning lineup. But Doug was a truly unique show. It was, an 11-and-a-half-year-old dealing with fears of failure, a lot of real-life issues. He was super awkward. Totally. He had a weird best friend. There's been awesome fan theories about maybe the whole show took place in his mind and he was actually crazy. So there's that as well.
And there's that chicka-chicka.
Anyway.
So good. This is actually when my wife and I were talking about this and what show should come back. She was like 100% the driving force behind a Doug reboot. Yeah. She loves some Doug.
Doug was going to be on my list, but when I heard that his wife was like really pushing for it, I said, you know what? I'm going to take the idea. I'm going to give her credit.
That's right.
So credit to you.
Good job, Jenny.
I'm going to go ahead and include, but I got to include it on the show now.
That's right.
Doug is one that because we have so many teen dramas, and it's like
like Riverdale, your favorite show.
My favorite show, and it's weird. It's it's really dramatic. It's melodramatic, and in times it's just really terrible.
Yeah.
But I think Doug was truly unique because it took adolescence, pre-teen years, and it actually tried to treat it in a pretty good, respectful way.
Yeah, you could really relate to Doug as growing up at that time in that same age. You really could relate to, like, he had crushes on Patty Mayonnaise. He didn't know how to deal with that. There was a lot of, I felt like, well-written stories. Whereas some shows, like Power Rangers, which I loved, but Power Rangers had, like, really overly cheesy messages. Like, look at me make this basketball. Stay in school, kids. Well, Doug really, it hit home on some of those messages, but it really did it in a way that you felt was relatable.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I really like, and one of the reasons I think it could succeed as a reboot now is that it would tap into all of the, teens or whatever that are not really feeling super cheesy teen drama shows.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like there's only so much Riverdale we can take. There's only so much, Gossip Girl we can take, all this sort of stuff. And they want to deal, because Doug had so much to do with, like, grunge
Yeah,
it was like the grunge trend is really where Doug fit in.
Right in that 90s grunge trend.
Then I really feel like, a reboot of it could really work well with like hipster teens. It could be successful.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
I like some of the character names. I just want to read them because I thought they were great names, so I jotted them down. We got Douglas Yancey Funny. The fact that his name was Doug Funny was just so great. Mosquito Skeeter Valentines, Roger M. Klotz, Patty Mayonnaise, BB
Bluff.
BB Bluff. That's right, BB. I couldn't remember that. It's been too long. And then Pork Chop, of course.
Yeah.
You gotta love Pork Chop the dog. And then they had some good music in that show too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's already been mentioned in the live chat. The Beats were an amazing band. One of my personal favorites was "I Need More Allowance." I mean, it threw in a yodelay.
So good. And let's not forget Quailman,
the greatest superhero I think ever.
It really is.
Still, times I wrap a belt around my head to be like Quailman. He was the hero that I wanted to be when I was growing up.
The reason I really love Doug though is because it debuted on my 6th birthday, August 11th, 1992. We're kind of running out of time here a little bit,
but we do want to talk about a very important thing. Yeah,
might be my second favorite show. Yeah. Out of all that we've talked about, and that is 1994, The Tick. Gotta love The Tick. Oh man, the greatest battle cry of all time.
That's the greatest battle cry of all time.
Yeah, I mean The Tick had it all. Really, it was created as a comic book store mascot.
Yeah.
In a newsletter.
Which I was totally unaware of.
In 1986, that's where I got the 6 from. And flash forward 8 years later to 1994, it's got its own show. It's got its own toys. It just totally exploded.
Yeah, it did.
And it had just such an unrivaled and unique sense of humor that really was, not only was it impressive, but it was impressive in an age where Animaniacs existed and other shows like that existed and had humor. They really had just like the weird, quirky humor.
Yeah, and it had a little bit more humor that I think adults could appreciate as well. It wasn't just like a kid's show. I mean, you had, it was this stuff like a character named Batmanuel.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's Batmanuel. Batmanuel,
American made.
Yeah, and so like one of my absolute favorite moments, and it still stands out to me, was the Tick Christmas special. In which there is a mall Santa who's electrocuted and gets the ability through this somehow to clone himself using static electricity. And so he decides he's going to clone an army. So he goes to a dam, like a power plant in a dam, and he creates this flood. It really is a flood of Santas just flying out. All they can say is ho, ho, ho.
That's right.
So the scene that stands out is the Tick standing there, hearing this faint ho, 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 looking, and these thousands of Santas are coming down this trench, and he sprints away yelling, "It's a Yuletide!"
It's a Yuletide.
Which is brilliant.
It really is. Like, what impressive, creative writing. And just, I mean, you nailed it. That really sums up. I mean, one of the villains was Chairface. It was a guy who had a chair for a face.
Oh, man, it's
so good.
So, there's some good live chat, talking about Killer Tofu. Tyler Holland brought that up.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of good stuff.
Sewer Urchin.
Yeah. A lot of people really, really loving the Tick itself.
Yeah.
It's so brilliant. Where is it? I missed. Oh, Jay. Jay Dunn says, "I love the continuity that the Tick kept with the message in the moon," which is a great episode and whatnot.
So good.
Very early on. Yeah. Had this message in the moon. And just great.
So one interesting thing about the Tick, before we move on, is, and we didn't know this until today, but apparently in 2016, Netflix greenlit a second live-action Tick show, and it's in production. So who knows what we're going to get. I like the first Tick live-action show with Patrick Warburton. There's this scene where he falls down an elevator shaft, and he just goes, "Gravity is a harsh mistress." I said that every time I fall, I say that.
That was a show that, along the same era when we were in high school together, and we watched Orange County
14 days in a row.
14 days in a row. Then we also watched a lot of live action too.
But it was really a special time.
As we move on in the episode, keep telling us some of the shows that you want to see rebooted, some of the cartoons that you love that you think would work really well rebooted now.
That's right.
In the process, we're going to put up a little video.
And I'm going to show off another figure we're going to give away.
Do it right now.
Boom! Classic Toy Biz the Century.
Is that it?
Non-bearded version.
Non-bearded Sentry. So far we got non-bearded Sentry. We've got Electro, and Push-Up Electro.
That's right.
And we're going to go ahead and send out the link to be entered into that as this next video plays. Now, this video is one that I'm very fond of because it's one of my favorite moments in comic book cartoon history.
That's right.
And, I mean, without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and put it up there. Keep your eyes on the live chat. Link for the giveaway coming in real soon. Did you watch the 1992 X-Men, the animated series? Of course you did. And if you did, then you remember that iconic and awesome theme song. Go ahead, take a moment, hum it to yourself. You good? Good. It's a classic, and one that sticks with you for a long time. But can you believe that we almost had this instead?
No place to hide, no place to run, no place to run. The mutant age has now begun. X-Men, X-Men, it's the day, X-Men, coming your way. Magneto's hordes are on the way to pillage, burn, and plunder. But there's one team that will not yield, the team that strikes like thunder. X-Men, X-Men, it's the day, X-Men, coming your way.
In 1989, Marvel Productions and Des Petits Freelong Enterprises, I just made up that pronunciation, it's probably very wrong, we're looking for the next show in their series, in which I will affectionately refer to as the Marvel Animated Universe. Now, this was, of course, the series of shows from the 70s and 80s that involved The Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man and his amazing friends, Spider-Woman, and, of course, the version of the Fantastic Four that replaced the Human Torch with a robot named Herbie because of copyright issues.
My sensors tell me something is not right.
Not to mention that the second episode of the new Fantastic Four involved a plotline in which Magneto showed up, beat Reed Richards in some sort of physical altercation, and claimed leadership of the Fantastic Four, and they just went along with it, which is a weak plot, but technically still more watchable than X-Men 3: The Last Stand. The X-Men had shown up in several episodes of Spider-Man and his amazing friends, but did not have a show of their own yet. So in 1989, they decided that would be the group, because of the popularity involved, that they would make a pilot of a new animated show for. Thus, the studios created Pride of the X-Men, a gem of a show that you can find on YouTube and watch for yourself. Pride of the X-Men carried a lot of influence from a small series of issues in the Uncanny X-Men comic series, and it focused on a young Kitty Pryde. As she joins the X-Men, she's recruited as she's starting to discover more about her powers. But the plot really revolves around Magneto and his, quote, Brotherhood of Mutant Terrorists, as he openly refers to them as they attempt to redirect a passing comet to crash into Earth. The impact would cause debris to block out the sun and create a new ice age, therefore weakening humans, but somehow allowing mutants to take over the Earth. Because, of course, when you signed the contract to get your mutant powers, you were given a free Ice Age survival pack as a bonus. While the plot was scattered and did feature a scene in which Professor Xavier obviously moved his legs at one point. Actually, you know what? Before we continue the video, let's just rewatch that clip a few times. I mean, look at it. They honestly animated that in, and no one caught it, no one thought to change that. This was our first time seeing a lot of our favorite X-Men characters on the television screen. I mean, obviously you had Cyclops and Colossus, Nightcrawler, Storm, Dazzler, and everyone's favorite, Australian Wolverine.
Wait till I get my claws on him, he'll be talking out the other side.
But Dazzler and Australian Wolverine aside, we still got to see the Mansion, the Blackbird, Cerebro, a lot of iconic things. It was an exciting time for X-Men fans because this was their moment to maybe get the cartoon that they desperately wanted. If there was one major positive to come out of Pride of the X-Men, it's that the animation style was highly praised and really was the foundation for most of the popular cartoons of the 90s. Spider-Man, Batman the Animated Series, and of course 1992 X-Men itself. But reaction to Pride of the X-Men was fairly negative. Some people were just entertained by it, but most everyone else agreed that the writing was extremely campy, even from a comic book cartoon standpoint. The characters were presented in very flat, generic ways. They weren't very true to the comics themselves. And again, Wolverine was Australian. Now this part was actually explained a little bit later on, because apparently in the original script, Wolverine was supposed to refer to the character Pyro, who is from Australia, by calling him a dingo, which might be racist. However, in rewriting, that line was switched around, so instead of Wolverine directing it at Pyro, who is an Australian character, he addressed it to Toad for no real reason. And apparently through that rewrite, people got confused and decided that Dingo was just something the character of Wolverine liked to call people, and so he must have been an Australian character. So therefore, they got a voice actor to do an Australian accent for him. Rick Holberg was the voice director for Pride of the X-Men. In a later interview, he stated that he was forced to use the Australian Wolverine partly because of how popular Australians were in pop culture at that point in time. He pointed to the popularity of the Mad Max movies, the Crocodile Dundee films, and the popularity of Large Knives. In fact, according to Holberg, the comics were going to have a storyline that explained that Wolverine was an expat from Australia who was relocated to Canada, and was actually from Australia to begin with. So Pride of the X-Men was almost on the cutting edge of where the comic books were about to go with the backstory of the Wolverine character. However, that storyline was scrapped, Wolverine remained truly Canadian, and Pride of the X-Men just looked foolish for having Australian Wolverine. As you can imagine, not long after the pilot was delivered and broadcasted, Marvel Entertainment Group went almost bankrupt. The company was sold and they stopped production on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, all the stuff that they had been working on, basically everything except Muppet Babies, which was apparently theirs. And Pride of the X-Men effectively killed the Marvel animated universe of the 70s and 80s. It seemed like dark times for X-Men fans, but those of us now and who grew up in the 90s, of course, know the rest of the story. In 1991, Margaret Loesch became the head of the Fox Children's Network. Margaret had previously worked as the producer that spearheaded Pride of the X-Men. So, upon her appointment as the head of the Fox Children's Network, one of her first moves was to greenlight 13 episodes of an X-Men animated series to debut in 1992. It was a hit and ran for 5 glorious years. But one great thing did come directly from Pride of the X-Men. Konami decided to pick up the look, feel, general plot of Pride of the X-Men and take those characters and turn them into the Uncanny X-Men arcade game, which was the crown jewel of pizza parlors and bowling alleys everywhere in the 90s, until Die Hard Arcade came out.
Yippee!
You're welcome, Greg.
So, Toby brought up a good point. We forgot to mention that if you want to enter into the action figure giveaway, which we're going to continue to post the link,
yes,
it's domestic US only. Mainly because we have no idea how to ship overseas. So, sorry about that, guys. We do gift card giveaways as well. We're just not doing one this week.
It's true.
Anyway.
It's true, because we have a special giveaway.
That's right. There's a special video dropping later on the week.
It's true.
So now we're going to move into our battle round. And this is a little segment we like to call Cartoon Battle Royale.
80s edition.
Pew, pew, pew. Those are 80s lasers.
All right.
Pew, pew. So we're going to be taking...
It's different than other... Okay.
It's totally different.
Okay.
We're going to be taking characters from 80s cartoon shows, and we're going to be putting them head to head, and we're going to let you guys help us decide who wins.
Now, if you tuned in last week, you will probably remember that we didn't technically announce the winner of last week's matchup. It was Tyler.
It was this guy!
We said, oh, well, we're going to go to a little segment, but Tyler probably won, ha ha ha, and then we came back and never actually said that Tyler won.
So I won.
So far... That means if you're keeping track at home, our competitions have gone Tyler won, me won, Tyler won. So Tyler's now up 2-1.
And then Tyler another one. No. It's a prophecy.
All right. So Tyler's up 2-1. in the competition so far. But I feel pretty good about my chances here.
Okay, all right.
Because you won last week, it means you get to go first.
All right.
This week.
I'm going to start out with a really fine pick. It is none other than the master detective himself, Inspector Gadget.
Da-da-da-da-da. Inspector Gadget. Da-da-da-da-da.
Inspector Gadget. So, Inspector Gadget was a police detective who later became a cyborg after a horrible accident, and he has over 1,000 amazing parts in his body. It's almost like he has an answer to every situation that he finds himself in. Crazy. He was designed after a character named Chief Inspector Jacques Clouseau from the famous Pink Panther cartoons and movies.
Those cartoons.
So great. And he's portrayed as not the brightest, I'll give you that, but a very capable fighter and detective. He's got popular gadgets include gadget binoculars, something he calls umbrella, which is a hand umbrella, and a coat that also doubles as an airbag, and a glider, gadget handcuffs for when he needs to arrest someone.
Makes sense. He is an inspector.
He's got hands.
Okay.
You know, like they pop out of his coat and they can do other things, like multiple hands.
Not just, okay.
Yeah, I can see where you'd be a little confused there.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and he's got spring legs to bounce and a helicopter head, skates / rollerblades that he can like pop out.
Yeah,
this guy's got it all.
He had it all.
He's got it all. So that's my first pick. Let's see who can you possibly put up against Inspector frickin' Gadget.
Well, one of the strengths of Inspector Gadget was the iconic theme song. I mean, as soon as you said it, I started singing
That's
it.
true.
You know, there's just no way around it.
He carries with himself some strong nostalgia.
But I'm going to go with another one of the most iconic theme songs from the 80s.
Okay.
And that is, my character is going to be Slimer
What?
from the Real Ghostbusters
What?
cartoon show.
Oh my gosh.
Inspector Gadget may have a lot of gadgets, but does he have what it takes to beat the paranormal? That's right. You might remember the Ghostbusters movie was very successful, so they decided to make a couple of different cartoons. And I think one of them kind of bombed, and so they went and made this other one called The Real Ghostbusters. And in it, Slimer, the ghost that obviously slimes people, was turned into a friendly mascot and teammate of the Ghostbusters.
Because why not?
So, Inspector Gadget, yes, I'm going to say that Slimer could have him beat because Inspector Gadget is a klutz and, you know, is clueless. And does he really... He comes prepared for all sorts of situations.
Yeah.
But does he come prepared to defeat a ghost?
I got to give it to you on this one. He's got thousands of gadgets, but I'd be willing to bet one of the gadgets he doesn't have is a ghost busting gun.
Exactly.
To suck in a ghost. Yeah, I mean, how could he beat the paranormal? That was a great counter to Inspector Gadget and a solid choice. I'm going to give it to you. Okay. I think that Slimer wins that. Let us know in the comments down below, or if you're in the live chat, let us know in the comments. Let us know what you think, who wins that matchup. I got to give it to you. That's a great choice.
So far, a lot of people going Gadget early on, saying that the Justin W says that he feels like Inspector Gadget probably has a proton pack somewhere.
Well, he might. I mean, he might. I think that's what it comes down to.
He might.
Keep letting us know in the chat.
Yeah, it's looking like it's leaning towards Inspector Gadget, which I'll be honest with you, I don't understand how you guys are coming to that logic. But all right, fair enough. Fair enough. Wow.
Starting off not great.
Not great. Not great. All right. Whatever. I'm going to go ahead here, and I'm going to pull out a bit of a wild card, since that first round didn't really go my way.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with, you guessed it, everyone's favorite, Australian Wolverine himself.
What? Australian Wolverine? Oh my gosh.
A very, very special Wolverine. Not the normal Wolverine.
Not the Canadian.
Shut up, bub. Yeah, he's not saying bub. No, he's going around going, oh, he keeps talking, I'm going to give it. Yeah,
I'm going to shrimp you on me, Bobby.
Right, it's not even all that great. Not even all that great of an Australian accent. No. It was terrible. But Australian Wolverine from Pride of the X-Men, the 1989 failed pilot.
Okay.
If there's anything in there that was true to Wolverine's form, it's that he hated everyone around him. And I think that's going to go well in whatever matchup you put him with.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to pull out a little bit of a guy from left field, but I really think he can take Australian Wolverine. And I'm going to tell you why. My character choice is the famed Captain N from the Nintendo cartoon show. Captain N was played by a typical teenager. He was a typical teenager named Kevin Keene. He was from Northridge, Los Angeles, California, and he and his dog Duke are taken to another universe known as Videoland. And Videoland is plagued by Mother Brain from the Metroid series. And there's this prophecy that Captain N is going to arise, and he's going to be able to save everybody and free the cartoon versions of the Nintendo characters from the clutches of Mother Brain and all this. But let me just give you a breakdown here of what Captain N, the Game Master, what kind of weaponry he carries with him. I mean, this is insane. This is insane.
Okay.
All
right.
Captain
you're
N,
kind of losing me on it, but okay.
Captain N is armed with a belt and a holster that has a power pad.
Oh, yeah.
What can this power pad do? You might be wondering at home. How about stop freaking time? How about allow him to leap over objects that are really tall, giving him super speed over short distances? Okay, that's pretty good. Stopping time is pretty nice. But then, wait, there's more. He's got an NES Zapper.
Oh, that's a good one.
What does the NES Zapper do? It literally dematerializes enemies.
Wow.
Like, one shot, you're dematerialized. Boom! He can also shoot ice that is shaped like Tetris blocks. A fun fact about Captain N, Kevin Keene, he wears a yellow shirt and a letterman's jacket with the letter N on it, which of course stands for the school where he was on the swim team. Sure. And is completely unrelated to the fact that he was Captain N.
Sure, yeah.
What do you think?
A lot of people in the chat trying to say that Captain Planet is their choice, which was not an option, and also, just so everyone knows, was not a 1980s cartoon, so is disqualified. Captain Planet debuted in 1990. So I'm sorry to everyone who's pointed that out. In particular, I'm not sorry to Ro Hunter. Screw you, Ro.
Ro. Well, who do you think's the winner of this fight? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, I personally am going to go with Aussie Wolverine myself.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, it kind of depends, honestly, if his Zapper gun is going to be effective against
healing powers
and adamantium, right? If so, and his stop time is pretty legit.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, his stop time is only, though, as effective as what he can do while the time is stopped. Yeah. Like, if he can't hurt Wolverine.
Because the real question is, does he have the killer instinct?
Yeah, no,
I don't think he does.
No, he definitely doesn't have the killer instinct.
I don't think he does. We're going over here right now, and Ro was pretty upset that I called him out, but it's all good. Ro and I were supposed to hang out last night, and he bailed, so that's why I'm upset.
Fair enough.
I'm kidding, everyone. So far, if we go based off of comments, I feel like it was slanted a little bit towards your favor, Inspector Gadget, on the first round.
Yeah, now we're looking at some Wolverines here.
A lot of people going
with Australian Wolverine. Which is funny, because I would have said Slimer wins in the first round.
Right.
And I would have said Captain N wins in the second round. Either way, it's a tie.
Yeah, so far we're tied going in on this last round here.
Yeah.
So,
and
Tyler,
once again, I just want to mention, we don't know what each other's picks are. We have no idea.
We don't. We come up with a list, and we try to pair up pretty evenly.
Yeah.
So far, the first one I thought we did pretty well. The second one might not. It was a little bit oddball, and I feel like this last one, if I go with the one I really want to go with, it's not gonna be equal. But
it's cool. We'll do it.
We're gonna do it
here.
So
is it yours?
No, it's yours.
Oh,
okay.
Man. All right. So my last character is definitely out of left field. He's from the show.
Before we go anywhere else,
okay.
Greg Taman went ahead and said, "Can Captain N chug a Foster's as fast as Australian Wolverine?" I don't think so.
Greg, you're so right.
So,
and congratulations to Greg for winning a giveaway last week.
Oh, he did. That is the guy who won the giveaway. So good for you. Good for you.
So my third choice is from a popular show called The New Adventures of Johnny Quest. And his character is named Race Bannon. His full name is Roger T. Race Bannon.
Yeah.
Roger T. Race Bannon was hired as a bodyguard for Johnny Quest. Johnny Quest, of course, was intelligent, brave, athletic, and proficient in judo, and all around deemed to be important enough by the U.S. government that they took an operative from Intelligence One and sent them to protect Johnny Quest. So, they didn't want Johnny to, as they say, fall into the wrong hands. So he's a 3rd degree black belt, as well as has the ability to defeat enemies in noted other martial arts, including sumo wrestlers.
Whew.
Race Bannon.
Race Bannon.
Pow, pow, pow.
That is a phenomenal choice.
Thank you. I'm pretty proud of it.
Phenomenal choice. Oh, man, that's good. I loved Race Bannon.
He was a great character.
He was so good. It's going to be hard, then, for me to top that, but I feel pretty good about my choice, which I feel like you might be able to guess who I'm going with if you really thought about it. I mean, it's...
do you want me to guess?
Yes, I kind of do now, actually. With that reaction, I do kind of want you to guess.
He-Man.
Man, that's a good choice.
He was on my list.
He-Man was on a list of potentials for me as well. No.
Okay.
My final choice has been sitting right out there in the open, right in front of us this whole time.
Oh,
I'm going with Mario from the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Come on, everyone. Do the Mario.
Oh, my God.
The short-lived Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Such a terrible show.
Yes, I do own on DVD. Here they are, right here. It, of course, had...
It's so bad. They even failed to animate whole parts of episodes on that show.
So the show was split between live action and animation. And Captain Lou Albano played live action Mario.
That's hilarious.
But I'm going with cartoon Mario here. First of all, you can't get more iconic as far as the brand goes than Mario himself from Super Mario. And
I always side with the short Italian plumber.
Exactly.
Being Italian myself.
Right. It's hard to go against it as far as brand importance.
Yeah.
I feel like Race Bannon is a tougher character, but kind of gets forgotten over time.
I mean, let's be honest. Here's how this fight goes in my mind. Mario shows up, and he wants to talk to Johnny Quest.
He wanders in and goes, "Hey, paisanos!"
That's right, "Hey, paisanos!" And then Race jumps in, like, "No one talks to Johnny without going through me." And then Mario goes, "Oh, I'll go through you, paisanos." And then Race goes, "Cha-cha-cha!" And then Mario just goes, "Fireball!" And then Race gets caught on fire and dies.
There's some conflicting reports in here early on. Greg says that Race wins because he was Brock Samson before Brock Samson, which is very nice. Thank you.
That's very true.
Jay Dunn says Race since Mario wouldn't have enough animation to fight.
That's a really good answer.
Which is brilliant.
It's really funny.
Which is brilliant. My friend Scott here, M. Scotter, says that Mario beats anyone with a head, which is very true. Yeah. I mean, he just has to get enough.
He touches your head, he's a one-hit KO, dude.
Exactly. So keep debating. When we get back from this next segment, we will announce the winner. It kind of seems like it's slanted one way, but keep debating. We want to see more.
And let me set up the segment here.
I'm going ahead and sending out the giveaway sign up one more time in case you missed it.
Good call.
Once we get back from this segment, we're of course going to announce. Before you set up the segment, we need to announce the third figure. Okay, put them all out here.
None other than the classic Toy Biz, Mr. Havoc himself. Look at that.
Look at that hairstyle he's got.
That's he's ready to make it rock.
Think that's natural? You think he needs
I think it's just part of his suit.
Some product in that?
I think it's just part of his suit.
Okay.
Sentry. And Push-Up Electro. So if you guys want to win one of these three figures...
All of these three figures.
Well, if you're interested in just one of them, go ahead and enter.
Yeah, I guess.
Let me know you don't want the other two.
Do whatever you want, I guess.
So go ahead and enter with that link below. Let me set up the next segment for you guys. So this past week was Toy Fair, and it was a really exciting time for me as an action figure collector. I love toys, and I could not get enough of the news. So I went ahead and put together just a few images, courtesy of Toy Arc, which is a great website. If you're not familiar, go check it out. But I put together a slideshow of a few images of the figures that I thought were the most impressive, and I was the most excited about. There was hundreds, if not thousands, of figures there, over 1,000 possibly. But I put together a short slideshow of the figures that I really like, and I'll probably be picking up. Also to note is the theme song that is underneath the slideshow. If you can tell us when you get back, identify that, you're going to get 125 SSD points.
That's big time. We've never given out that many SSD points.
Not at once,
before.
I can tell you that.
We've never given out any SSD points before.
Not at once, I can tell you that. So here we go. Let's roll the segment.
Enjoy. I think that video was too short. Like, I wanted to keep watching.
Yeah. I was pretty excited about those figures. What did you guys like? What were some of your figures? I really liked the Figuarts Dragon Ball Z, and especially, well, all the imports really, but especially the Figuart Shredder. Did anybody catch what theme song that was?
I think Toby did. Toby seems to be...
He got it.
Good. I mean, not specifically, but he did get it. It was a Street Fighter song. It was, of course, Guile's.
Guile's theme, which goes with anything. As we know, it goes with anything.
Oh, man. You know, we're about to pick the winner of the giveaway. Before we do that, I just want to again say thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
This is always so much fun. Mm-hmm. And we're always just amazed at how quickly an hour goes by.
It just flies by for us.
It flies by for us. It probably feels like eternity for you.
Yeah, I don't know why you're still here.
Especially if you're Ro and I'm needlessly insulting you all of a sudden. And so, but we're really appreciative of that. And of course, as always, we give stuff away because we, have our reasons to give stuff away. Whether it's, we've lived lives that we look back on and say, we're just filled with gratitude. For how far we've made it.
Yeah,
never
we're
thought,
still alive.
I got a birthday coming up soon in the next few weeks. So I'm really reflective and
old.
So I know, and old. I'm reflective and old. So we love giving stuff away to live in that light of how gracious we are for how far we've made it in life, and we hope that you do the same. And we hope that at the very least you walk out of here being reminded that it doesn't take much time to do one bonus nice thing.
That's it.
That's really all we ask out of you as viewers. Just do one nice thing as the week goes on.
That's it. So, really quick, before we announce the winner of the giveaway, who do you think won the Battle Royale? Excuse me. Wow,
that was rough.
The Battle Royale. Who won?
I'm looking over it, and it really looks like most everyone went in the way of Mario.
Okay.
So if we tallied it up, it kind of seems like it went... You won the first one with Inspector Gadget based on how the viewers were.
Which I disagreed with.
Which I did.
I totally disagree with that, but that's fine.
I won Australian Wolverine.
Which I disagreed with. Yeah. I totally disagreed with. But that's fine.
If people were probably more familiar
with Captain N,
maybe. It would have been good.
Freaking maybe.
And it seems like with Mario, won that one pretty heavily, even though I love Ray Spannon.
Yeah. So all right, so you're the winner. Congratulations.
Seems like I won.
Thank you. Wow, way to rub it in.
Thank you all.
Be humble for once in your life.
I just want to take this moment to say how incredibly, humbled I am by this.
I hate you.
And I'm just touched that you guys would side with me.
Toby, you get 100 points. Cutting it a little bit because you didn't know it exactly.
Yep. 2-2.
All right, well, let's go ahead
competitions. And we got a winner of some
the winner right here. Can we get a drum roll, please?
Are you nervous? Because I'm nervous.
I'm not nervous at all.
Once again, producer wants to remind you we don't have in the budget for a drum roll.
Yep, the winner is...
Producer is nervous.
One of my great friends, Tyler Chu. Congratulations, Tyler Chu. You have won the figures. Happy for you. Happy to send them to you. Good job.
This is my bad clap.
That was a terrible clap, so you win. Good job.
I won that competition.
All right.
Congratulations to Tyler.
That's right. We appreciate it, as always. So, in closing, do we want to do a quick 60 seconds, like we like to close the episodes?
Yep.
60 seconds of just things that interested us this week or that we're excited about.
Exactly. Something that just in the past week we've been all about. Why don't you go first, Tyler?
I'm happy to. So, one of the things I'm excited about in this past week is the new Marvel Legends X-Men wave came out. It was not expected to drop this past weekend. Hit Target stores everywhere. Stop what you're doing and rush out and buy them. If you live in my area, it's too late. They're gone.
Ho!
I would like to give a special shout out to two people. One, my friend Robbie, and that's because he's the one who told me about it and told me to go get them. So thanks a lot. And two, my friend Scott, who actually went and got them for me, and I owe money to. Appreciate you guys. Y'all are awesome. The other two things I'm excited about was one thing.
What?
Is they announced a reprint of a Punisher omnibus that I've been wanting for a while, and a print of a Planet Hulk omnibus that I'm very excited about and we'll do a review on later.
Well, that was a lot of things. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Something that has been on my mind a lot in the past week. I happen to have some friends, people I actually know.
You have friends?
Well,
surprising.
There are some people I shook hands with once.
Okay.
Fine. And they happen to be opening up a new restaurant this week, which is really exciting. Like, it's opening up on Thursday. It's just got me thinking about how much I appreciate locally owned restaurants, locally owned businesses and all. And I don't know if you guys have any particular like local places you love a whole lot that are unique to your location, but I just encourage you this week, make sure to go out and support them. Go grab a meal at your favorite local place.
Boom.
And do it because I said so.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, that went really dark. Wow. All the stuff that we give away on this show has been donated. Well, the figures actually came from
my personal collection.
His personal collection. But all the books we've given away have been donations. And just a quick reminder, later in the week, we're going to be giving this thing away.
Courtesy of Nathan Burkholz.
Thank you, awesome, Nathan Burkholz.
We love you.
This is going to be done in a collaborative video between us and the YouTube channel, Hardcover Reviews.
Exciting collaboration we got dropped where it's really funny and really fun.
Very, very excited.
It's going to be part of it's going to be on his channel, part of it's going to be on our channel. Look forward to seeing that drop hopefully later on this week.
Yep, absolutely. So if you want to donate anything to us, contact us to let us know. Or so we can talk about it. We can talk details there. We would welcome anything you want to give away. Books, comics, figures, Funko Pops, whatever it may be.
That's it.
Send them on over. We'd love to give them away, and we're very, very, very thankful for those that have already given stuff to us for the purpose of donations.
If you haven't already done it, subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook.
Yep.
Facebook.com/SuperSquadD Live. Check us out on the Tweety box at Super Squad D.
There
you go. I almost forgot for a second.
And a quick programming note, next week's episode, due to some scheduling issues, is actually going to be on Monday night, not Tuesday.
Monday.
We're going to be plugging that a whole lot in the next week, so you won't miss it. But it's going to be on Monday night.
Exciting time.
Not next Tuesday. So there we go. Wow. Can't believe we made it this far.
It was fun, guys.
Like a month in. It's been another hour. Congrats again to Tyler who won. Congrats again to Tyler who got the pleasure of sitting next to me tonight. That's Tyler.
That's Joseph.
This has been Super Squad D.
Where the D stands for...
The End.
Done.